Sultan al-Awliya Shaykh Muhammad Nazimiyya Madad ya Sayyidi ya Mawlana Shaykh Hisham Kabani unzur halana wa shfalana wa abiduni bimadakum wa nazarakum. Alhamdulillah, always asking to be nothing and enter Allah's oceans of rahmah wa abiduni bimadadakum wa nazarakum. Inshallah, sharing from Mawlana Shaykh's teachings, always from myself first, if anyone finds any benefit, alhamdulillah, that reminding us on these holy nights the way towards Allah is, and our way, our religion of Islam is the religion of the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, and that to be from the ashiqeen is the way in which all realities to open. And alhamdulillah, from the levels of the heart and from the understandings of the highest levels, which they call the Akhfa, and its secret is in the color black, in the reality of black. And black is a color in which absorbs everything. It is the reality of annihilation. And alhamdulillah, Mawlana Shaykh reminding us that the science of annihilation is a very fascinating way of understanding what is annihilation, is that if you add 1 cup and 1 cup, you have 2 cups, because they are still in the world of form. And the whole way of reality is to lose the form. So it means the whole way of marifah is that this form in which Allah gave us a donkey in which to ride onto this earth, that is the one that has to be taken away, has to be effaced and negated, so that to enter back into the realities of light, of our lucid and liquid state. So then they teach that in the liquid state, 1 drop plus 1 drop is still 1 drop. So depending upon what you're adding, that equation is going to be relevant. If you're adding 2 forms, then yes, there's going to be multiple. But the reality of annihilation and the reality of tawheed and the oceans of oneness, that we cannot reach La ilaha illallah, but we can reach to the ocean of Muhammadun Rasulullah. And the way to be one in that ocean is to lose the form, because as many drops as you put back into that ocean, the ocean remains one, because each drop will be lost and back into its origin. That is the Akhfa reality, that lose and annihilate your form. And then they remind us, and Sayyidina Bilal al-Habashi Qaddasallahu Siru, from the great Sahabi of Prophet come into our lives and begin to remind us that their lives have tremendous realities. Not a story tale that from an old story, but must be something relevant within our life today, and begin to teach that my life and my coming to this reality is that I was a slave. And again, this has to do with the secret of the black and the reality of black, and that the reality of abd, because there's an abd of dunya and there is the abdullah, it's reality of akhirah. That we speak tomorrow night. The abd of dunya, that Sayyidina Bilal being Habashi and from a black coloured skin, comes to teach that that is the station of annihilation, and that the black race on this earth have been tremendously abused, that their history is of immense abuse. And Allah wants us to understand that is that station of Abdullah, that is the station of servanthood, that the reality of servanthood, if it comes onto this earth, is going to clash, is going to be abused. Because the shaitans of this dunya, they don't want the servants of Allah, they don't want the servants of the heaven, and they begin to abuse them and mistreat them. And that is the symbol of our life, that their life is a symbol for us, that look how much just because of that color that we become abused, how much we come under torment. And Sayyidina Bilal's life was that he was a slave in the time of the arrival of Prophet, that he's coming to Sayyidina Muhammad as an abd, which again a station that unimaginable. Not coming with free will, not coming with, okay, I think I will follow you, maybe I won't follow you, but accepting the message of Islam, accepting the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, that I accepted that message and I wanted to follow Prophet. The condition in which Allah put me in means his birth condition is that he's a slave, and then began an immense amount of torture. They began to torture Sayyidina Bilal over periods of time, and they kept telling Sayyidina Bilal that, you leave following Sayyidina Muhammad, keep the religion of whatever you want, of our gods or Allah, whatever you want, keep it in your heart. Means it's important for us that what were the companions fighting for? What were they struggling for? What were they believing in? They hadn't seen Allah, they hadn't seen any Holy Qur'an, they hadn't seen anything. But what they did see, they loved. What they did see was Sayyidina Muhammad. They saw the haqq of Nabi Kareem, Nabi al-Kareem, they saw the haqq of Nur al-Muhammadi. They said that, you're describing of compassion, if you are the compassionate, an example of what you're describing of Allah, we are accepting. If you are the merciful and your character is so merciful, we're now understanding what you're talking about of Allah, we are accepting. Means their acceptance was in the love of Prophet. They accepted the character of Prophet as an example of that Creator. That what we're going to know of Allah, we're seeing it through you, that your character and trustworthiness, your beautiful nature was of such a way that we accept whatever you're telling us. And that how they gained the love of Allah, and Sayyidina Bilal tortured, that you leave following Sayyidina Muhammad and we will relieve you. Said, never, nothing you can do that will stop me from following Sayyidina Muhammad. And that was a danger that's going to change the way all of servanthood on this dunya, that this dunya is based on serving shaitan, serving the dunya and material desires, but following the way of Sayyidina Muhammad is the way of haqq and truth. And the truth will set you free, and begins to teach. Then they took me that day and they put me under the sun, and they began to like cook me under the weather. And they put upon my chest, and after horrible torturings, unimaginable torturings, they put a stone as a final death blow, a huge boulder upon his chest, and began to crack the bones of his chest. And the only zikr that he's making is ahad, ahad, ahad. And that has to do with the station in which Prophet which Allah opened because of the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, the difficulty that he put himself through. Allah opened the witnessing of that reality. That for Sahabi are open-hearted people, Ahlul Bayt are open-hearted people, that the zikr they're making is a reflection of the station in which they're at. And he was making the zikr of ahad, ahad, ahad because he wanted everyone to know he had reached that reality. That was for us to be an understanding of that reality. That all awliyaullah come and teach that when Sayyidina Bilal was being tortured, Qaddasallahu sirruhu, he was making zikr ahad, and that was because of the love of Sayyidina Ahmad. That the love of Prophet opened such immense realities that they say, no matter what you did at that time, he's not going to feel it. He's in the love and the oceans of rahmah of Allah. What his understanding was merely the physicality, but in the oceans of ecstasy and Divinely Presence. And whom Sayyidina Muhammad sent was the great Siddiq, Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and told Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq that Allah giving permission, free him. Means again for us, and the Naqshbandiya way has a tremendous reality. The Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq sent to free and to open that reality, open that maqam from the sir to the khaffa and to the akhfa, is to open that reality. That's not an action that doesn't have a reality behind it but has a tremendous reality behind it. That He's dispersed to go out and purchase that freedom, means take away that oppression, take away that difficulty, and to begin that opening and an understanding in this dunya is that they are waiting for the great Siddiq to open again that reality on this dunya. As that reality is still under oppression in this dunya, that the great Siddiqs to be given order by Prophet to open that reality upon dunya, means for us that is an understanding of the greatness of Sayyidina Bilal al-Habashi and the realities of the Akhfa station of annihilation. And Allah gives us as a reminder for ourselves, because the companions, the holy companions, they are constantly guiding us, watching and praying for our souls, that these stations of difficulty that we endured, and all the companions and all the ahlul bayt all endured tremendous difficulty in the way and in the love of Prophet. And they want to dress us from that reality to understand that the struggle you put in life is a struggle in the way of Allah, but you struggle with the love of Prophet. If the basis of what you're doing is based on the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, means to struggle to keep the way of Prophet, struggle to keep the example and the character of Sayyidina Muhammad, live a life trying to disperse and disseminate the love of Prophet on dunya. That struggle, that way of difficulty, Allah finds acceptance. قُلْ إِنِ كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحِبُّكُمُ اللَّهُ. That Allah teaching that if you want my love, follow, be from the tabi'een, and I will dress you from my love. That is the dress of love. When Allah opened the chest, released the soul and begin the witnessing of this dress and these realities, that is the reality of the ashiqeen. And Allah gave for us all that akhfa reality is our shadow. Means that we are not left here without a reminder, and we're not left here to be that, Ya Rabbi we didn't know, because Allah said, no, you did know. You had your own reality constantly attached to you. Means the one that stands, and you see this on a nice sunny day, is face the sun, face the light, because it's an example of that which is eternal. The light is eternal. Seek always the light in your life. Don't seek the world of form and everything that perishes. That light, that symbol of the sun is the same sun that Sayyidina Adam saw. Means it's a symbol of eternity, not to be worshipped, but for us to understand Allah is the light, the Divinely Presence is the light. If your life is seeking the light and always running to the light, He gave the akhfa reality to always be with us. So as soon as you face the light, look at your akhfa reality in its complete sajda. And if you move towards the light, your shadow is following you, because you are in submission to Allah. That they teach us that if you are moving and submitting your entire being to the light, Allah will make all of creation to submit and to be of service to you. Not submit to you, they submit to Allah, but all of creation will serve you because you are serving Allah. You are moving and running towards the light. And as soon as you turn your back from the light and begin to chase your dunya, your akhfa reality runs away from you. It doesn't want anything to do with you. So as soon as you put the sun to your back, your shadow is in front of you. As soon as you run to grab it, is running away from you. So Allah sent a reminder for us O you that stand upright and think yourselves to be something, Allah attached for us on nothing. You have your own akhfa, you have your own slave attached and sewn to your feet, and it's always in sajda to Allah. Reach to that reality. So then awliyaullah come into our life and they teach us that be like that, contemplate like that, make your tafakkur, make your contemplation, understand the difficulties in life and have a life that has a value. That value of life is only if you are struggling in the way of Prophet. Struggle to keep your centers open, struggle to keep the way of Prophet, struggle to keep the love and the example that wherever you go you are Muhammadiyun. You're not hiding it and calling yourself Mo. Who's Mo? You're Muhammad and we are Muhammadiyun. How many places you go somewhere and you meet somebody called Mo? What is that? Why are you hiding from Allah? And why are you hiding from Prophet? Are they the ones who should be hiding from us and ashamed of us? And that's a struggle. That's what they're teaching us, is a struggle. Not that we're going to be tortured like Sayyidina Bilal, we don't have that maqam, and if today you twist somebody's finger they're going to denounce everything they believe and say, that's it, I'm going. They put big symbol of themselves something else and say, that's it. They're not saying that, but they say just a simple struggle to love Prophet more than you love yourself. Be proud and happy to carry the way and the flag of Prophet. Live a life in which you're trying to struggle to keep the love and the example of Prophet alive, and they begin to remind and look to your shadow. Keep your qibla always towards the light, and you should find all your realities are running after you, wanting to give you from their blessings, wanting to support you, because you are trying to be from the Abdullah and Ubaydullah, following those who are in the service of Allah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammadan Mustafa. A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah, last night we were talking about Sayyidina Bilal and Al-Habashi, Qaddasallahu sirruhu, great companion and Sahabi of Sayyidina Muhammad, and through the torment and through the torture reaching to the realities that Allah wanted to dress Sayyidina Bilal from, and that Prophet dressing all of that dress was from the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, meant to be tortured for the sake of Prophet, not wanting to leave Prophet, and reaching for us a reality of the Akhfa stations, the reality of the fana, reality of the zikr of Ahad, Abdul Ahad, and that he had reached such a state of certainty and yaqeen that through that torment his zikr was Ahad, 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 and big reality for people to contemplate and tafakkur, to understand that that's not a normal person or just anyone that Prophet chose for the azan. And everything around Prophet has a tremendous reality. So importance is that when someone of that caliber is calling the azan, Prophet knows that he's calling creation. His recitation, his heart is calling the Divine, the Presence, calling all malaika, calling all realities with such a firasat, such a yaqeen and certainty that is unimaginable. It's not something small. And the lesson in that is that Prophet granted somebody of sincerity. And you're talking about the salah, because this is going to teach us from the salah, from even the importance of the salah. Before even the salah can commence, he's giving that responsibility to the muazzin, the one who's calling people to salah. And he gives that one who has such a yaqeen that call creation means call with all of your yaqeen, and we're now all going to come for our salah. And an incident had occurred that some of the newer companions and some of the people had complained that his Arabic is not correct. and that he had a list, and that when he would call azan he would say, as-sadu. And they said, oh, we say, Ya Rasulullah, maybe we can have somebody who recites more perfectly to recite. This is a big lesson for people who now are so stuck on the external. And this is somebody even before the salah. Forget about people arguing about the salah and everything, you don't say Allah right, you don't add enough A's, you don't add enough sound into it. Everybody so fixated on the sound as if Allah is listening to your sound and looking to your surah, to your form. Where Allah doesn't look to the form and He doesn't care about what your lips have to say. Allah looks to the heart of the believer. And this is the daleel and the proof of that reality, that someone with such a yaqeen, Prophet knowing that he's saying as-sadu, knowing that he has a list, but knowing and wanting to teach the companions, teach us, because we are coming and we are in need of these lessons. It's not what his lips say that's important, but the yaqeen and the certainty of his holy heart. What he has endured to achieve a love that Allah granted a yaqeen in which his zikr is ahad, and that was the importance. And then the Sahabi and the people who were complaining, Prophet said, no problem, next Fajr I won't have him call the azan. And the story goes that they waited, and that the sun rising was not coming. And Jibreel came to Prophet and said, for the sake of Sayyidina Bilal, Allah is holding the sun from rising. That then the companions understood and realized the station of that Abdullah, the station of servanthood he had achieved, the station of love that he had for Sayyidina Muhammad, that if he doesn't call the azan, Allah showed that Divinely power that don't rise. Means the lesson is not on exactly that factual story that the sun rise or didn't rise on that day, go back and find all the science of it, but the importance of that lesson that Prophet is teaching for us. That Allah found acceptance in that ab's calling, because it wasn't only the calling of the lisan, but it was calling from the qalb, a qalb that had been tested, a qalb that had suffered and endured and proved itself worthy of the love. قُلْ إِنِ كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. What better of the tabi'een than the ones who suffer and take a life in moving towards the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي وَيُحِبُّكُمُ اللَّهُ. That Allah that by following Prophet Allah says, I will love you. And that is the proof of that Divinely love, that all the amal and every amal, because from the muezzin who's calling us to the salah, imagine then the salah if you're not reciting correctly. Prophet is showing us that it's not that counts, but what counts is what's in the heart. What's in the heart and its connection with Divinely Presence, connection with Prophet, connection with awliyaullah. We pray that Prophet always inspire within us, that we be dressed by the holy companions, that their nazar and their watching over us and blessing us and dressing us and teaching us from their example, and that has a tremendous example of the importance of yaqeen, the importance of muhabbat and love, and that if Allah loves us everything is possible. Means this religion of Islam is the religion of the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, which is the love of the Divinely Presence. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon, wa salaamun al mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.